Hey everyone! Being an adventurer is tough. Sometimes you just need a bit of help, ain't that right, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
There are many benefactors out there who seek to fund adventurers for their own gains. But what happens when the one filling your coin purse is also the villain? Find out on today's episode of Crit Academy as we discuss Benebads. Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
And I'm your co-host Ian. Brandon's somewhere.
Running behind. Dulcina's like, "Where's Brandon?" Well, he drank a potion of invisibility, and we cast silence on him.
Nothing about how you look at the magic item card for the invisible cloak. There's nothing on it.
What is this magic item? I don't know. It doesn't say anything. All right. We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure. I am super excited for today's main topic because part of what makes a story in Dungeons and Dragons interesting is how all the characters can mesh, whether they're the NPCs or the PCs, and finding a good way to drive those and tie them all together is a key feature of a good story. So the most common thing that we see is adventurers accepting work from somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could argue that these, are called benefactors, and they do all come in all shapes and sizes, and everyone can use a helping hand once in a while. Sometimes, however, those relationships with patrons, employers, or other benefactors can become strained or even worse. So today we're talking Benebads by Alan Tucker, and what's really cool about this is inside it details entities who offer benefits to the party of adventurers in the short or long term, but who can also transform into formidable villains, providing conflict, intrigue, and excitement for any type of campaign, which I just think is super exciting. Ian, you got a chance to browse through this. What was your first off the cuff thoughts on this product?
I mostly focus more on the first entry.
Which is that the one we're covering, or was that the other one? I know there's two of them.
I know, but
okay.
I thought you basically had a very layered character here. You could even get where they're coming from, which I think always makes a good villain too.
Absolutely.
And I always think it's a good thing where you can see why in their mind they're the hero. You can even see their argument behind that. You can even see how outside forces around them had the best of intentions, but that may not have the results they desired.
Yeah. And I think so we're going to actually show you some of this. There's a few different things that Alan did with this, and he actually did something really, really cool. He created what's called a living document for Benebads, meaning that more content will be added as time goes on. Approximately every 6 to 8 weeks, at least six times until the end of the year, he'll be adding new, fully fleshed out Benebads to the book, increasing the price accordingly. However, everyone who's already purchased it gets all those Benebads at no additional cost. So make sure you jump in early on this deal.
And it's worth noting too that they put in a lot for each entry.
Yeah. So the first entry comes in with only 2 Benebads, but they are very well fleshed out. So why don't we pop over and show this bad boy? Let's see if we can get it open here take out our full screen here. So here you can see we got the Benebad. They got the nice cover art. I love the filigree that's going with this, because this totally screams I'm a hero,
which honestly does fit the character.
Yes, absolutely. So Benefactors Who Become Your Worst Enemies is a great introduction to this. As I said, written by Alan Tucker. He's a good friend of ours. He didn't send us this or anything to promote it. It just was, this is awesome. We got to talk about it. So we kind of already discussed the different ones, but this comes with 2 different Benebads. We're only going to be discussing one, Lady Ronin Dearborn, because as Ian already said, there's a lot of content for each of these. Each one is broken down into a few different segments. Ian, do you want to tell us the different segments that it's broken down into?
Well, first off, you get the history of the character.
Yep.
And which also not only dives into who they are and why they believe what they do, but their equipment, perks and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
We got their associates, other persons of interest, some quests that can come off this person.
Yep.
Why this person may turn on you. The estate, which includes maps and some magic items.
Yes. So like I said, there's 2 in this right now. It's available for only a few bucks. Alicia, if you could get the price dropped on the stream for us so everyone can see what it is right now. Remember, it's going to be getting a constant update, and you'll be getting additional Benebads for no cost. It currently is going for $3.95. So drop in now and you're going to get 6 new update at least every 6 or 8 weeks, which is awesome. So let's move on through this. Hey, Brandon, what's up, B? You okay? We're streaming. Is everything okay? Deep breaths.
Everything's fine.
Is it?
He said, bring a sweater. So I turned my happy ass around and brought a sweater.
Oh, well,
okay.
That's fine.
All right.
You did been fine. All right, so let's talk about Lady Ronwyn Dearborn. So
I explained a few things in chat.
right. So here you can see Ronan. Is it Ronan? Might be Ronan. Oh, Ronwyn comes from a long line of warriors for Torm, and the family was granted lesser noble status during the time of Ronwyn's grandparents. Both her parents, Oral and Augusta, were proud and righteous paladins who perished battling a demonic incursion when Ronwyn was 15. She continued in her parents' footsteps and trained in the church until she was old enough to take over the family estate. So this one paragraph, and there's many here to go. Obviously, we can't cover it all, but that gives you a really good kind of concept and idea of where Ronwyn. Sorry.
And you discover later in the document there's way more to it.
There's so much more, and I think it's little things like that that make the Benebads interesting, because that you'll see that theme kind of coming back up and down more than once during the thing. I wonder if can we do this side by side? No, it won't let us. Okay. Yeah, there it goes. If I shrink it, nope, can't get the other guys in there. Sorry.
Me.
We'll go back to the way it was. All right. So here we got we talked about the description and history already. As you can see, there's a lot more to it. Let's talk about some of the other little details that they get. Each Benebad has a secret agenda. Brandon, would you like to tell us what the secret agenda for Ronwyn?
Ronwyn Dearborn. Over the past couple of years, Ronwyn has grown increasingly suspicious of leadership in the church and local government, which I like the way this is going, because that could lead to a whole bunch.
Especially since she's a paladin.
She's a paladin.
Yeah.
She believes they may be under a sinister influence and seeks any shred of evidence to support her theory. Their continued refusal to ask for her aid regarding threats which require smiting only adds fuel to this fire, clouding her judgment further each day.
So just in these 2 paragraphs, we have a really good idea of the type of character Lady Ronwyn is.
Mm-hmm.
Not just as an ally, but as a potential villain, right? Especially if maybe one of these churches, your group has a cleric that abides by one, right?
Yep.
You're immediately creating a sort of conflict.
Right.
And the other thing I really liked is we get a lot of monsters and stuff, but very rarely are they delivered wearing or carrying magical items.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the special equipment that they gave, that Alan gave Lady Ronwyn?
Well, by default, she wears +2 plate mail and a +1 short sword. However, they do include some other magic items which can beef her up pretty good, including the armor purpose,
which is really cool,
and might have some sinister edge to it that may not be obvious at first.
Yeah. Turn up Brandon's mic. Here we go. I got that. All right. So we're going to talk about the magic items in our UTT segment. So,
and part of her distrust does come from the fact that she actually was very dedicated to cause,
mm-hmm.
but some of the leadership who had the best intentions in mind, so it's like she might be a little bit too dedicated. Let's listen her dues a little bit to take the pressure off her.
Right.
And then her reaction was, "Why are they giving me less work?"
And that's something that some people could really find a common thread, right? Something that, wow, I had all this work and they're taking away from me. What did I do something wrong or something? What's going on, right?
Yep.
Now, one of the other things in this first page is they are our group patron perks, right?
Yep.
And that's been around. Which book introduced the group patrons? Do you remember which one that was? I can't remember. I don't think it was Anathar's, was it?
No.
It been Tasha's. I don't know. Anyway, so we got benefits for group patrons. So with Ronwyn Dearborn as your group's patron, you gain the following perks. Brandon, you want to tell us about one?
Yeah, sure. One of them is a armory. You can requisition the use of mundane weapons and armor. Although if they are damaged or lost, the cost to repair or replace them will be deducted from your salary. That's crap because they usually get damaged anyway when you use them.
Right. So that's one of the perks. It just been confirmed that it came from the group patrons was from Tasha's.
Yep.
Ian, do you want to tell us one more?
Well, you can also get some training, which you can
I like that one.
receive most martial disciplines in, and they also encourage you to read the downtime activity in both the PHP as well as Sanitars.
Yes. So that's
Which
something
most people forget exists.
Yeah. So that's something we don't see a lot in D&D games is there are rules to allow players to train in certain features and unlock those skills for their characters. And so following such a well-pronounced, patron, this certainly fits that. Of course, you get room and board and salary and renown, which is one of my personal favorites. But what else is really cool is not only do you get the Benebad, but you get some people that are closely tight-knit and involved with them, which I think is pretty cool. Brandon, do you want to tell us about one of these Benebad or one of these associates?
One of the associates we got here is Zach Barr, Ronaldnoff. Ronaldnoff. He is a Green Dragonborn warrior of Torm. Use the champion stat block. VGTM. Volo's Guide to Monsters, I believe.
Yes, I'm going to blow that up and see if it looks better. There we go. Is it easier to read?
In his early 30s, who fought beside Ronwyn in more than one campaign for the church. She saved his life during a battle with a number of bearded devils, and he pledged his service to her from that point forward. He is less zealous and mistrustful of the church than Ronwyn, but knows her faith and Torn is unwavering.
Faith in Torm.
Faith in Torn.
So this is really cool because it ties to a couple different things. Once again, it talks about her following of Torm and her mistrust of the church. Now, the interesting with paladins is their powers aren't derived from their deities. I could see a change for this of tying her oaths to following the church and then breaking those oaths potentially and becoming a vengeance paladin, right? Which I just think is really cool. And of course, we have more another associate, NR Kesselak. I think this was a nice kind of inclusion. What do you think, Ian?
It was a nice touch, and as I said before, it does help flesh the character more, and it helps springboard potential adventures that DMs can use.
And I think that's what really makes a great supplement when it comes to D&D is having a supplement that can easily be incorporated into any setting. There is a little DM note here about modifying Ronwyn to fit any oath, especially if it's an Eberron, for example. She would likely be a Knight of the Silver Flame. So there's some really good stuff there. As you can see, we've got even more associates to that, and each one has their own different tyings and trainings. Like I think Gon Brighthammer was her trainer, if I remember right. So you can tell now that we kind of have the circle of people she can rely on and can kind of advise her, and maybe that starts to build up a bit of tension too, which is really fun. We got a question here from Garwin. Says breaking her oath would actually make her an oath breaker. What did I say? Vengeance?
Yes.
I knew that. I swear I knew that. Thank you, Garwin, for pointing out my dummy. Can I just say the artwork is really nice in this platform or in this supplement too. They're all really fit well together, and I like the little the style a lot. So now we want to talk a little bit about quests. The quests. What's up?
User on TikTok saying Ebron was expanded in Tasha's.
Yep. So here we have quests. Now you can see the quests are just a few one-liners. They're very short description hooks, but I think they're really good. Brandon, do you want to pick one out and talk about it?
Livestock has gone missing recently from a number of farms in the area, and the farmers have beseeched Ronwin for help. The cause could be a wild animal, poachers, or something more sinister, such as a wooden leg.
What?
Such
Did you
as-
just make that up?
Yes, such as a wooden leg
A
and
wooden-
the Horador cube.
Oh God.
Cow level.
Cow level, I gotcha. So what I think is really cool about this, because you don't see this very often, the players usually actively go look for jobs, right?
Yep.
Ronwin can send her minions to locate and find the players, and talk with them directly and say, hey, Ronwin wants you to meet her in her war room. She's got some work for you to do, and maybe you make a couple of these bullet points as options. She says, hey, here's what's going on right now. I think this is most important, but we've got plenty of heroes. Which one interests you? So it gives you a really good way to drive the story, but still let the players kind of pick and choose what interests them. Specifically, one that I thought was interesting was a terrified peasant comes to Ronwin with an account of the dead rising from an abandoned cemetery. This is an opportunity to twist that however you want. It could be zombies. It could be skeletons. It could be him going crazy and he's seeing ghosts and they're not actually dead rising. It's just spirits. Or maybe it's meeting of sinister people in the dead of night. You know what I mean?
Or maybe it was just a party.
People, a bunch of kids having a party.
You kids drinking? No.
What else we got here? So one of my favorite parts is how the tides can turn. Ronwin can become the party's worst enemy in a couple of ways. Ian, do you want to give us an example?
If Gon, her trainer, is involved, Ronwin's feelings of betrayal are intensified. She is convinced the evil has rooted itself in the temple, and nothing but complete cleansing will satisfy Storm's wrath.
And what do you think she means by cleansing?
Purge.
Yeah, that's the way I read that. What about you?
Smite.
Yeah, a purge.
Yeah, and so this quickly goes from this follower and trustworthy person to leading a potential massacre, which is really, really great.
Pulling an Anakin.
Master Skywalker, what are we to do?
I gotta get them younglings.
Brandon, do you want to read one more?
Oh, that's fucked up. Let's see. Another way the tides can turn is that the party may find Ronwin's methods disconcerting after spending some time with her, and can be approached by Kieran Felspar for questioning, or even be asked to act as double agents to investigate Ronwin's activities. If Ronwin finds out about this kind of betrayal, heads would fly, and her campaign against the local authorities would be escalated.
Oh no, I love it. Alan did such a superb job with this.
It's also worth noting two things. One, she definitely believes in might is right and has no problem using excessive force. And two, despite the fact that she is actively trying to supplant the local authorities, the general townsfolk actually kind of like her for it because she actually seems to be getting work done.
And you know what? There's some good in that, right? Because there tends to be issues where stuff gets stagnated in paperwork.
Yep.
And she's just like, this is stupid. Why are we waiting? Garwin says to betray the very thing you hold so dear, to betray your innermost ideology for an easier path. I like that. So this is really cool. Now let's talk about her stat block as a whole, because I think that that's something that is really, really well done. You can tell he's took the most recent design path for that's coming out in the Monsters of the Multiverse, which we'll be talking about next week. So come and watch us. So Lady Ronwin Dearborn is a CR12, so she's potent. So this is, this is somebody you can totally start the characters underneath her at like level 1, and as they progress, she gets progressively worse. Or maybe they don't notice the things, and as they get stronger and more reliable, maybe then they start to notice things because they get more involved in the work that she's doing. You know what I mean? So I do like the layout. As I've said, this definitely seems to take the newer style where there's not necessarily a spell list, just mechanics. And you can see she gets aura of courage, which I think is great if she's the villain. She's going to get aura of protection. So do they get both?
Yeah.
That's awesome. She's got protection, courage, protection auras. That's awesome. She gets divine health, which means she's immune to diseases. And of course, what paladin would be complete without?
Smite.
Smite these bitches.
Ow.
You okay? We also get lay on hands. Leadership is a nice touch. And of course, she gets turn unholy and parry. So she's pretty straightforward when it comes to mechanics. But I think that this would make for an interesting boss battle if necessary. I really think a great way to showcase her power would to have her show up and rescue the day when the player characters are in trouble. Or maybe she overestimated their power and they're getting their butt kicked and she shows up and they're instantly revitalized with their courage and they can feel her aura radiating and kind of surrounding them like a blanket. It would be just so much fun. I love it. What I do like, so check out this map, you guys.
Pretty.
If you haven't seen the Dungeon Alchemist Kickstarter, this is one of the maps from that. This was for the beta users at the moment, and it's so pretty. I love it. It looks gorgeous. It's so nice. So kudos for this. So that's the Dearborn Estate. Each Benebad has their little lair maps here. So you already got a place for the players to hang out, which is really cool. This little training yard here, I imagine. Actually, it says got numbers on it, so it looks like he gives us details on each room and what they are.
The entry hall.
Yeah. So this is really cool. Like I said, it looks really nice. What are your guys' thoughts?
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. I love the style.
It's very 3D. For those who actually cannot see what we're talking about, it's not just a standard overview 2D model. Everything is in the third dimension.
Yeah,
and it's really pretty.
Yeah,
I not quite isometric, but
yeah. I bet it could be though. All right, so we got some really good stuff. You even got crypts here, ballroom, study lounge. There's a lavatory. So if you don't know, yes. If you don't know, the best lavatory ever was in a book that Jeff Stevens made, where it was in a wizard's lab or wizard's tower, and the toilet was a bag of holding, and then the players dumped it out, and shit filled up several floors on the toilet. All right, so once again, not only do we get great story, great backstory, great character arcs, quest hooks, we also get a nice location too.
Oh, hey, Carl, make sure to get behind your ears.
What's he doing?
Get them soapy suds going all over that body. You want to make yourself squeaky clean. He's taking a shower.
What are you talking about?
He's look down the list. He's taking a shower. He said he would still be listening, so no, whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Make sure you clean that beard. Give that mustache a nice curl for me.
Don't be asking for pictures on the internet. Send those privately. All right, so let's continue. There's some really cool magic items. We're going to talk about those in the UTT. Currently, as I said, Benebads is going to be a living document. It currently has 2 Benebads in it. Therian Wildheart is the next one, which is awesome artwork, by the way. I love it. And once again, you get the same kind of material delivered. You pick it up now, you're going to get every additional add-on that he adds over the next year, which should be at least 6, I think he said. Or at least 6. Was it 6 or 6 weeks? I don't remember.
At least 6.
So I think that's really cool. And I recommend picking it out if this sounds interesting to you.
Because 6 to 8 weeks,
and
at least 6 times until end of 2022.
Right. So
now remember, the sooner you buy it, the cheaper it is.
Yeah. So if you pick it up right now at $3.95, you're gonna get at least 6 updates into this. And now I can tell you, I've already seen the preview for the next update, and I'm pretty sure it has 3 Benebads in it.
All right.
So the first update is already more content than is in this one. So, and they're juicy. I love it. Do you guys got any other details on this product before we move on?
I think it's a really neat idea to be able to gain this ally in any kind of campaign you're doing, whether it's in a book or if it's a homebrew. And then you can just take this ally you once had and just flip them right around and be like, nope, they're not your friend no more.
And those are the best kind of twists in your story, right? Especially if you think she's level 12 and you start at level 1 and you make it all the way to level 10 before you start to realize, shit, she's the villain. But what if the players decide to side with her and help with the bird? Oh, gosh. They're relatable. That's why. They can
Yep.
be relatable. So I definitely recommend checking it out. And if you do check it out, make sure to use the affiliate link because we get a small kickback. I don't know where she's posted that, but it's here somewhere. You can find it in the description on the YouTube or in the chat here. So, all right. I think that'll do it for our main topic today, Benebads. So before we move on to our tips and tricks, we just had our third Clash of Classes, you guys.
that was great.
It was so much fun.
enjoyed that.
I just at the moment like, oh, this is gonna kill the guy.
Yes, that's okay.
Kill what? Who?
The smite, was it a smite?
No, it was just a chain whip from the.
Oh yeah.
ogre.
So if you guys don't know, in Clash of Classes, we drop 2 players into arena and there's hazards. In Clash of Classes 3, there was 2 ogres on chains on the ends of the
wait,
arena.
Someone won because of a hazard.
Yes.
Yeah, you were there. I totally forgot to. I'm gonna be
it was
honest.
the final hit from a
No.
player.
No.
It came in from the 2 ogres, their chains slowly got longer until they were fighting right next to one that was just swinging a chain was like a ball on a chain or something
Yeah.
and just demolished one of them.
I'm like, well, it's gonna attack the closest guy, and the
You're-
guy with the HP is the closest guy. It's an area effect, so yeah.
Sorry. And
You're
the
done.
other player actually swooped around to the other side so we wouldn't get attacked. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun. We totally narrate as if you're watching a WW SmackDown. So please consider checking it out. There'll be a link in the dibbly-doo.